Grover Cleveland, the 22nd and 24th President of the United States, remains one of the most distinctive figures in American political history. He is the only president to serve 2 non-consecutive terms, making him both the 22nd President, 1885 to 1889, and the 24th President, 1893 to 1897. His political career was defined by a reputation for honesty, independence, and commitment to reform at a time when corruption and machine politics dominated American government. Cleveland's story is one of resilience, determination, and firm principles that both elevated him to high office and, at times, cost him popular support. Stephen Grover Cleveland was born on March 18, 1837, in Caldwell, New Jersey, the 5th of 9 children. His father, Richard Falley Cleveland, was a Presbyterian minister, and his mother, Anne Neal Cleveland, came from a family of book publishers. The Clevelands lived modestly, and Grover E.'s childhood was marked by financial struggles and frequent moves as his father sought stable positions within the church. When Grover was just 16, his father died suddenly, leaving the family in difficult circumstances. Without the means to attend college, Grover was forced to take jobs to support his family. He briefly taught at the New York Institute for the Blind, but soon moved to Buffalo, New York, where an uncle helped him secure a clerkship in a law office. Through diligence and self-study, Cleveland was admitted to the bar in 1859. His lack of formal education did not hinder his legal career, and his hardworking nature earned him respect among colleagues. Cleveland quickly established himself as a capable lawyer in Buffalo. He entered politics not out of ambition, but rather from a sense of civic duty and commitment to reform. In 1863, during the Civil War, he was drafted, but paid for a substitute to serve in his place, a legal and common practice at the time. While this decision later became a point of criticism, it allowed him to continue building his legal and political career. Cleveland's rise in politics was steady and grounded in his reputation for integrity. In 1870, he was elected sheriff of Erie County, New York. As sheriff, he personally carried out at least 2 executions, a duty that left a lasting mark on his life. Afterward, he returned to private practice but remained active in Democratic Party circles. In 1881, Cleveland was elected mayor of Buffalo. As mayor, he gained attention for battling corruption, vetoing wasteful spending bills, and taking on entrenched interests. His reputation as an honest reformer quickly spread. The following year, he was elected governor of New York, where he continued his fight against political machines, most notably Tammany Hall. His independence, straightforward manner, and willingness to stand up to party bosses distinguished him at a time when public disillusionment with corruption was widespread. Cleveland's reputation for honesty and reform brought him national recognition. In 1884, the Democratic Party nominated him for president. His Republican opponent was James G. Blaine, who was tainted by accusations of corruption. The campaign was bitter and personal, with Republicans ridiculing Cleveland for having fathered a child out of wedlock in the 1870s. Cleveland admitted responsibility, deflecting some of the scandal by acknowledging the truth. His candor impressed many voters, and he narrowly won the election. At age 47, Grover Cleveland became the first Democratic president since the Civil War. His first term was marked by commitment to limited government, fiscal conservatism, and reform. He vetoed numerous private pension bills for Civil War veterans that he considered fraudulent or excessive, earning him the nickname the Veto President. He also opposed wasteful spending on public works projects and was critical of high protective tariffs, which he argued unfairly benefited big industries at the expense of consumers. Cleveland's first term also saw him use the power of the presidency to resist congressional overreach. His firm stance against political favors and corruption endeared him to reformers but alienated many politicians who depended on patronage. In his personal life, Cleveland surprised the nation in 1886 when, at age 49, he married Frances Folsom, a 21-year-old college graduate and the daughter of his late law partner. Frances became the youngest First Lady in U.S. history. and was widely admired for her charm and grace. The marriage softened Cleveland's image and made the White House a more lively, social place. Despite his integrity and popularity among reform-minded voters, Cleveland lost his re-election bid in 1888 to Republican Benjamin Harrison. Though Cleveland won the popular vote, Harrison carried the Electoral College, aided by strong support from states where tariffs were popular. After his defeat, Cleveland returned to New York and practiced law. He remained active in Democratic politics, and by 1892, dissatisfaction with Harrison's administration and the tariff issue created an opening for Cleveland's return. That year, he won the presidency again, defeating Harrison and becoming the only U.S. president to serve non-consecutive terms. Cleveland's second term was far more difficult than his first. Soon after he took office, the nation plunged into the Panic of 1893, one of the worst economic depressions in U.S. history. Banks failed, businesses collapsed, and unemployment soared. Cleveland A.'s response reflected his conservative economic philosophy. He insisted on maintaining the gold standard and opposed the free coinage of silver, which many believed would inflate the currency and ease the crisis. His stance alienated the growing populist movement and much of his own Democratic base, especially in the South and West. Cleveland also faced labor unrest, most notably the Pullman Strike of 1894, in which railroad workers across the country walked out in protest of wage cuts. Cleveland sent federal troops to break the strike, arguing it was necessary to ensure the flow of mail and maintain order. The intervention led to violent clashes and further damaged his standing with organized labor. On foreign policy, Cleveland displayed firmness and independence. He opposed American annexation of Hawaii after a group of American settlers overthrew Queen Liliuokalani in 1893, believing the coup was unjust. He also pressed Britain over a boundary dispute in Venezuela, invoking the Monroe Doctrine to assert U.S. interests in the Western Hemisphere. Cleveland's health became an issue during his second term. In 1893, he secretly underwent surgery to remove a cancerous tumor from his mouth. The operation was performed aboard a yacht to avoid alarming the public, and news of it was kept hidden until years later. By the end of his second term, Cleveland was deeply unpopular. His steadfast commitment to conservative economic policies, coupled with the hardships of the Depression, made him a target of criticism from many sides. He left office in 1897 with his reputation diminished, though respected by some for his principled consistency. After leaving the presidency, Cleveland retired to Princeton, New Jersey, with his wife Frances and their children. He remained a respected elder statesman and was occasionally consulted on political matters, though he never sought public office again. He supported the founding of Princeton University, School of Public and International Affairs, and wrote on issues of government and democracy. Cleveland lived quietly in his later years, enjoying family life and maintaining correspondence with political allies and critics alike. He died on June 24, 1908, at the age of 71. His last words reportedly were, "I have tried so hard to do right." Grover Cleveland's presidency is remembered for its integrity, reformist zeal, and adherence to principle. He stood out in an era dominated by political machines and corruption, offering a model of honesty and independence. His fiscal conservatism and belief in limited government resonated with classical liberal ideals, though they often clashed with the realities of a changing America. While his refusal to compromise cost him popularity, his commitment to what he saw as right over expediency earned him respect as a man of principle. Historians often debate his effectiveness, but many regard him as one of the most honest and courageous presidents of the 19th century. Cleveland's life was also notable for its personal elements: his marriage to Frances Folsom, their young family in the White House, and his forthright admission of personal mistakes. Together, these elements humanized him in a way that set him apart from many of his contemporaries. In the larger arc of U.S. history, Grover Cleveland represents the struggle between traditional limited government and the emerging demands of a modern industrial society. His presidency highlighted the tensions of an America in transition, between old and new politics, between agrarian values and industrial realities, and between individual honesty and systemic corruption. Grover Cleveland's journey from a modest upbringing in New Jersey to the highest office in the land illustrates the power of persistence, integrity, and principle. Twice elected president, he navigated personal scandal, political battles, economic crisis, and shifting public opinion with a steadfast devotion to what he believed was right. Though not always popular, Cleveland's legacy endures as that of a leader who valued honesty above all and who sought to preserve the integrity of the presidency in an age of political turbulence. His life and career stand as a reminder that leadership is not always about pleasing the majority, but about staying true to one's convictions and striving, as he said on his deathbed, to do right.